Alright, Hacksters, break out your Kleenex because today's broadcast is going to be a little bit heartwarming. Um, so this is a really cool story. One of my favorite things about the story of Particle as a company is that they are built on top of the open source Arduino platform. They are an open source company themselves, and there's other companies such as Blues that are building more open source products on top of the Particle platform. So it's got this rich legacy of multi-generations, as you might put it, of open source, and uh, this sentiment is shared by Naomi Wu, who's using this concept actually of open source to sell open source to business owners, and that's really well exemplified in this project, which is also particle based. This actually started out as a DIY project, and it is now being sold for decent money, hella decent money, as a consumer product, and it's got a really cool story that I want to share with you. So first off, you can see this project was published in May of 2015, and it actually was first created in December 2014 for Christmas as a present for John Harrison's family and his collaborator slash partner, Vanessa Whalen. So the deal was that his family is not very connected, and when they do connect, sometimes it's more with rancor and, sort of harsh words rather than a real family feeling. And so he wanted a way to sort of bring people together, but at the same time to do it in a way that didn't require actual words. So it brings you together with the emotional connection, even when you can't express yourselves very well. And he shared this awesome tutorial that's based on the Particle Spark core and Adafruit NeoPixels as well as a Raspberry Pi. So bringing together some of our favorite, open source technology here. You can see a really beautiful demo, some other cool stuff. Doot, 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 doot. Yeah. And they're touch sensitive, so you basically touch the top of one and it communicates with the others to change all the colors so that you can sort of communicate with everyone across continents if that's necessary. Another cool thing is that someone else actually built this following up with that to connect with their family. Deepak created it for his parents' wedding anniversary and made two of these, updated it with MQTT communication and a Node MCU ESP8266 breakout board. So he successfully got it ready in time for their anniversary, and another family was brought together, and apparently they had a huge amount of fun playing with these. And there's a demo video of his mom controlling the lamp from another country, which is super cool. So fast forward to today, I'm looking on wish lists and stuff because it's the holiday season, and what do I come across but this long distance touch lamp? And at first, my response is, oh no, another case of a big company ripping off, a DIY person who came up with a cool idea. But no! This company, Uncommon Goods, actually has brought this to the market. And they have a whole interview with John Harrison and Vanessa Whalen about the process of making these. So you can actually buy these now, 75 bucks for one and 150 for two, which I just think is a really awesome story of coming from, this DIY project a couple of years ago. That's not even that long ago, by the way. That's 2.5 years since publishing the project, right? 3 years total to go to this, and it looks really beautiful. Not only that, but there is this in the course of this interview, which is from midway through this year, they had already gone through a few design iterations. So if you're interested in turning your own DIY project into something that is, marketable, something that's feasible, they have some really cool information. I mean, I'm just gonna keep saying really cool, by the way, throughout this whole thing. Information on how to do that from their own perspective. One really neat thing is that they teamed up with a local group called the Wichita Women's Initiative Network. So John had been frequenting this hackerspace, the local hackerspace, They had met originally while he was a violin teacher and she was doing piano accompaniment, and then years later, he is now in the technology field, and they're married. I think it's been a while since I read the interview, and everything's awesome. And so they worked with this local women's initiative network to get these things assembled and simultaneously support the local community, which I think is really cool. Um, it still works the same way. The trim is conductive. You touch it, and they all sort of mirror the color. And they don't still work with that group, but they still work with them, but in a different capacity. So you can kind of see how they've iterated on their business model and their ways of creating these and manufacturing them at the same time as they've iterated a little bit on the design. Really cool interview. There we go again. And one more point about Deepak's interpretation of this. Again, it's still totally open source, which is rad. And his sister got in on it, 3D printing her own custom case for hosting the lamp. So it's really a whole family sort of effort. So that's my heartwarming story for What the Wednesday today. Usually we look at something that's kind of weird or wacky, and this week it's just heartwarming, and it warms the electrons or something. But yeah, if you're interested in working with particle system or with NeoPixels or the Raspberry Pi or MQTT or ESP8266, the Node MCU, any of those things, this is a beautiful gift that you can make for your family to enjoy. And I really hope that we keep seeing more of these because it just makes me so happy. And, you know, if you can't build your own, you can always buy it on Uncommon Goods. It's uncommongoods.com/product/long distance touch lamp with hyphens in there. Check it out, yeah, and maybe throw some money to your fellow makers this holiday season. Thanks for watching and have an awesome Wednesday.